Hey there everyone, I'm Ashley Billington and you're watching The Campfire. This week we are deep diving into 6-5A Division 2. There's some parity in this 6-5A Division 2 district, as you have some really big powerhouse teams and some teams who are going to be up and coming in the 2020 season. These are the teams that you'll be seeing in 6-5A Division 2 after realignment.
Adamson, Conrad, Hillcrest, Jefferson, Kimball, Seagoville, South Oak Cliff, Spruce, and Mesquite Poteet.
And you can let us know who you think is going to take the district crown on our social media channels. You can also answer this trivia question on our social media channels as well.
District 6-5A Division 2 trivia question. What Adamson alumni is known as the original 12th man for Texas A&M? A. E. King Gill, B. J. Aberea, C. B. W. Stevenson, or D. Pinky Higgins?
To answer that trivia question, you have to comment on our social media accounts. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Put it on the Campfire and let us know what you think the correct answer is. You can also listen to the Campfire as well as an entire catalog of Inside High School Sports podcast content on Apple iTunes and Spotify. Now it's time for the film session presented by your local North Texas Geico agents.
There are some big-time athletes in District 6-5A Division 2, which should make for some exciting football. The frontrunners look to be South Oak Cliff, Mesquite Poteet, and Kimball. The Golden Bears will be led on offense by scatback Cam Davis. And they have big-time D1 prospects and cornerback Jimmy Wyrick and linebacker Jai Jones. Besides last year, South Oak Cliff has been a lock when it comes to winning this district. But with the addition of Mesquite Poteet, that might change. The Pirates and second-year head coach Rodney McClain bring a formidable team to 6-5A Division 2. Tight end Devin Martin will be Poteet's go-to target as they face new opponents in 2020. The best player in the district could be Kimball's highly recruited defensive back, Ishmael Ibrahim. He's gotten offers from all the big SEC teams, and quarterbacks will probably avoid going his way this season. Those three teams are likely to take 3 of the playoff spots, which leaves 1 spot open for the rest of the district. Seagoville is probably the best of the rest, led by tight end Kavion Majors, but don't look past Conrad and new head coach Josh Ragsdale. Hillcrest moves up a classification and they will battle it out with Adamson, Thomas Jefferson, and Spruce to get some wins.
And great teams are made of great players. The local North Texas Honda dealers want to recognize the players on the rise, those players destined to lead their team to victory.
Kimball's Ishmael Ibrahim is a 4-star recruit at cornerback. He is the 12th ranked player at his position and is ready for a big senior year with the Knights. He will be a senior in the coming season and is looking to add to his already impressive stats. Ibrahim has 30 solo tackles, 55 total tackles, along with 11 pass deflections. Look for him to stay on the rise in 2020. South Oak Cliff Golden Bear Jimmy Wyrick is committed to Stanford. He helped lead the defense over the last 3 seasons with South Oak Cliff, and he will be leaned on heavily in the 2020 season. As a junior, he collected 22 solo tackles and has a career 98 total tackles. He also has 22 pass deflections added to his career stats and an average 3.4 tackles a game. Cam Davis was the leading rusher for South Oak Cliff in the 2019 season. Davis had 130 carries for the Golden Bears and 1,341 total rushing yards. Davis also had 13 rushing touchdowns and averaged 10.3 yards per carry. Davis is committed to San Diego State University. Kimball's running back Brandon Epton Jr. is a star in the Knights offense. In 2019, he had 765 rushing yards and averaged 9 yards per carry. Epton Jr. collected 17 total touchdowns for his team and will be needed in the 2020 season to elevate Kimball's offensive scheme. Running back Sean Hodge had a big 2019 for the Spruce offense. Last season, he had 185 carries and 1,064 rushing yards. He added 14 touchdowns to his stat line. Hodge will be a big key for Spruce to push them into the playoffs in the 2020 season.
And those players are fantastic on the gridiron, but do you know somebody from the high school sports scene doing great in your community? Nominate them for the North Texas Honda Dealers Helpful Heroes. To nominate, go to ihsshelpfulheroes.com and follow our social media accounts all summer long to see your nominations highlighted. Now it's time for our Media Day segment where we talk to coaches about their teams and their new districts.
Hey there, everyone. I have the head coach of Conrad, Josh Ragsdale, on with me. Coach Ragsdale, how you doing?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
You know, I know you just said that you were hired on a Tuesday. This happened on a Friday, but can you tell us anything about your Conrad football team and some of the pieces that you have coming into the 2020 season?
You know, I can, and that's another thing. Being at home has provided an opportunity to watch a lot of film and sit back in the comfort of my own home, or once the kids go to bed, and I'm able to sit up and grab the laptop and watch some more film. One thing that stood out about Conrad in 2019 was how young they were. There were some young men that were really making plays that you go back, you look at the roster, oh, wow, that was a 10th grader. Oh, wow, that was a freshman. So the youth is pretty exciting. Mainly because the bright lights are gone. And so when we get started, you know, those bright lights of playing on a Friday night are no longer there. Makers. We've got some guys that, like many Dallas ISD teams, we struggle with depth. We struggle with numbers. And so it's, formulating a plan that allows us to be successful and having to take that into consideration deeply. Offensively, there's a lot of tools there. The thing that hurts Conrad in the last couple of years were those 5 offensive linemen that were getting some good play on the field. They turned around and played defensive tackle, and they got no breaks. And so beginning of games, they were hanging with folks, and you could just see that point of a game to where they were just out of gas. And so, our job is to get creative and find ways that we can get them breaks. And there's ways to do that. I'm not going to give away all the secrets, but looking back at the offenses and the defenses that I've run and other stops, we get creative. It doesn't always look like other schools. It's a little bit different, but it works for us. And so the kids are excited about that. But there's some playmakers there. There's a lot of question marks. We really have no idea who our quarterback's going to be. It could be one of 5 people, and so that's going to be a true competition once we do get started back up. They can't say that we had someone in mind before they got a chance to show us what they could do.
This district does have some traditional powers like South Oak Cliff and Mesquite Poteet, but there's some parity as well. What are your thoughts on being able to maneuver this district and possibly get a playoff spot?
It's number one, I think it's just putting a lot of thought and a lot of effort into a plan and being very intentional with that plan and getting the kids to understand what that plan is. Things that to them, they look and go, why are we doing this? But getting them to buy in and believe in what we're doing. This is very similar when I took over at Dallas Adamson back in 2010, I believe. Very similar to where there were a couple of teams in the district that, it's those games you just pray that you leave healthy and that you have a chance to have all of your kids playing the next week. But at the same time, keeping their mindset on the overall goal. The first thing that I mentioned to these guys was, when I sat them down talking about, believing in us, believing in each other, and I mentioned the word playoffs, and I had a couple of kids look at me like, what are you talking about? Have you not seen what we've done the last couple of years? But being able to show them how we've made plans in other places, and they came to fruition. When we got to Adamson, people said, why would you do that? Those kids can't win. Those kids can't do it. And we developed that attitude of watch this. So you're going to tell me I can't do something? Watch this. And it worked. And so that's kind of been our, I don't know if you can see, we got these wristbands made that say watch this on it. We're kind of taking the same mentality of people told me not to take this job because you couldn't win. Guys, I kind of take that, personal. Watch this. Watch what's about to happen. And the kids are tweeting it. The kids are talking about it. Now, it takes more than just talk. It takes action. But I really do. We've hired some some good coaches. We've got some things in place and some plans in place that, just like you said, Mesquite Poteet is going to be tough to beat. South Oak Cliff's going to be tough to beat. And, Dallas Kimball is going to be hard to beat. And it's no disrespect to any of those other teams, but, why not us? Why not us be a part of that group that says, watch out for Conrad? Because nobody talked about Adamson for a long time. And the next thing you know, it was every year, it's like, oh, what's Adamson going to do this year? How are they going to surprise us? And so, not that we're the Adamson Leopards by any stretch of the imagination, but we're going to have a plan in place to try to make that happen and win those games that we look at film this year and go, oh my gosh, they were, two kids getting rest short of winning that ball game. And it's how can we go in with a plan to keep that from happening again. So the opportunity is definitely there.
Coach Ragsdale, thank you for joining us on the Campfire. Good luck to you and Conrad this season. We'll be right back after a couple messages from our sponsors.
The North Texas Honda dealers recognize members of our high school sports community who take time out to be helpful heroes. Nominate a helpful hero today at ihsshelpfulheroes.com. The film session is brought to you by your local North Texas Geico agents. To find the office near you, go to geico.com/DFW. The District Breakdown is presented by GiveMeTheVin.com. These teams make it look easy, just like GiveMeTheVin.com makes it easy to sell your vehicle.
Welcome back to the Campfire. As you've seen, District 6-5A Division II is going to be really interesting in the 2020 season. Now it's time for the District Breakdown presented by GiveMeTheVin.com. We bring in Inside High School Sports Insider Ryan Harris to go more in depth on this 6-5A Division II district.
Thanks, Ashley. And District 6 features some talented teams at the top. That'll leave a handful of teams to compete for the final playoff spot. I fully expect South Oak Cliff, Mesquite Poteet, and Kimball to make the playoffs in 2020. But let's take a look at the district as a whole. Adamson finished 4-6 in 2019, and a 1-point loss to Spruce at the end of the regular season kept the Leopards from a .500 record. Adamson will get another shot at Spruce in 2020, and they'll also face several teams that it beat last season. With talent returning on both sides of the ball, expect Adamson to compete for a playoff spot this fall. The Conrad Chargers have some work to do in 2020, and Josh Ragsdale is taking over as head coach after interim coach James Davis led Conrad to a 1-9 finish in 2019. The Chargers are just 2-18 over the last two seasons, but they'll attack 2020 with more stability at head coach. Hillcrest faded down the stretch last season after a 6-1 start to the season. The Panthers missed the playoffs in 2019, but their returning star running back Nasir Reynolds. Hillcrest handled Conrad in non-district play a year ago, but they didn't face any other team in its new district. We'll keep an eye on how Hillcrest adjusts to its new district, and the Panthers could challenge for a playoff spot this season. Jefferson failed to win a game in 2019, but they were competitive against Conrad. The Patriots went 0-6 against teams in its new district last year, and they'll have their work cut out for them in 2020. Returning an experienced quarterback always helps, and Jefferson has just that in Jonathan Ware. Kimball finished with a 7-4 record in 2019, and they'll look to build on that behind a plethora of returning talent. The Knights' best defender is back in 4-star cornerback recruit Ishmael Ibrahim. The offense returns plenty of talent as well. Quarterback Keith Hargraves and backfield mate and SMU commit Brandon Epton Jr. is back to go with receivers Cam Nelson and Kyron Henderson. Kimball could challenge for the district championship in 2020. Seagoville made the playoffs in 2019 behind a 7-4 record and a first-round playoff exit. The Dragons finished 5-1 against teams in their new district, and they returned some talent at receiver and in the secondary. Seagoville will look to make another playoff run this fall. The Golden Bears finished 6-0 against teams in their new district and 9-3 overall. That includes a playoff win over Midlothian. South Oak Cliff returns talent all over the field in the form of a strong senior class. The linebacker position is particularly strong and is led by Arizona State commit Jaden Williams and Boise State commit Jai Jones. Stanford commit Jimmy Wyrick is back to lead the secondary, and 3-star recruit Jalen Jones adds even more depth at linebacker. San Diego State commit Cam Davis will be a nightmare for opposing defenses at running back. The Golden Bears are my pick to win the district for a second year in a row. Spruce finished the 2019 season with a 4-6 record, and the good news for the Timberwolves is that 3 of those 4 wins came against teams that they'll face in 2020. A playoff appearance may not be in the cards, but certainly isn't inconceivable. Mesquite Poteet is another team to keep an eye on in this district. The Pirates finished with a 5-6 record last year after our first-round playoff loss to Magnolia. Tight end Devin Martin is being recruited by the likes of Alabama and Georgia, and he's back to lead that offense. Poteet is in a completely new district, but they should expect to make the playoffs in 2020. That leaves me with my team and player to watch. My team to watch is the Kimball Knights. With talent returning all over the field and a healthy district record from a year ago, I expect Kimball to be highly competitive and make some noise in district play. My player to watch is Mesquite Poteet tight end Devin Martin. It could be a big senior season for Martin, and he's likely going to be the primary target for Poteet's offense. I'm excited to see how things play out in this district. That's all for me. Back to you, Ashley.
Ryan, thanks for the insight. I'll see you next week. That's all we have for this edition of the Campfire. Come back every Monday for a new show. Until then, follow our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. That'll be bringing you original content, all focused on 658 Division II. Until next time, I'm Ashley Billington, and thank you for watching the Campfire.